Hi, people. Did you know we are creatures? That just popped in my head, okay? Creeping things. Things that creep upon the earth. I know, I did. I just took a hit off my cartridge. So that might explain that. I don't know. I'm switching back and forth between my iPad and my iPhone, because I didn't get the update. I didn't have enough room on my device to get the update. So now it says I have no room because it wants that update. So I have to upload stuff or do something. And I'm just not sure about the getting it back thing, all these damn passwords and stuff. So, yes, I'm talking just quite apropos, right? I'm sorry. It is Sunday, the day of rest. A day of peace and rest. Think we can find any peace? I woke up with a headache. It was like, I'm supposed to watch out for headaches, but I just always had that problem. Just not as much as recently. It's like power of suggestion. I was saying how I don't get headaches anymore, and while lo and behold, here they are. But also with the high blood pressure, I'm supposed to be watching out for them. And people don't understand the significance of the bandana. It really does help. Sometimes when you're sick, it's not going to help. I've noticed that. If my BC powder doesn't work, the bandana is going to work at least some, because it cuts off the pulsating stuff. But it still hurts. Not as bad as it could, because believe me, I've had a lot worse headaches. But it's like it's growing up. Instead of being down here, it's more up here, and then it's up here. So, like, I better be careful. All my blood vessels will be popping. It's not a very good thing. I'm just not sure. I got this skin hanging off my lip. I'm just not sure of these medications. And we did it in such a hurry. And she had told me I could double up on my metformin. Well, I don't want to do that. Because also in that same breath, she said all you can have is 2,000. So that makes it 2,000 if you double it. Which I guess you could have that plus something else. But I'm not really thinking this is good. And I read on my dad took Glipizide all those years, and I think Nathan did too. And it shows these, the side effects. I'm trying to remember where it showed it. Oh, I looked it up. I want to know the side effects for Glipizide. Okay, so it pops up with these like 7 or 8, whatever shows. And then there's this thing called more at the bottom. You click on the more, weight gain. Yeah. Our family's been quite plump. But it don't have to be. I'm sure it don't have to be. Dad was on that medication for years and years. But he liked to eat too, so which was it? But he did get pretty round. And I've been round too. When I quit smoking cigarettes, oh my. And it wasn't really that this is my own opinion. Okay, this is my own opinion. I think tobacco stunts your growth. And you quit smoking tobacco and you get fat. That probably sounds stupid. Because I didn't see myself eating a lot more. Even though I was trying to quit and you replace that habit with another habit, I don't think I was doing that really very much. So, I just know these medications can make you gain weight. And when I read that, I'm going, well, no. But I don't know if that Jardiance does. And she was telling me there's some other ones that will help you lose weight. So I want to lose weight, but I don't want to lose that much. I don't see myself, I guess. It seems like if you lose too much weight, then there won't be nothing left of you. I don't know if I've said that on here before, but I've said it. You know, you get comfortable with what you got and you start losing it and you're thinking you're losing yourself. I know. It's my cartridge. But it's also things that I have thought, so. But I do know, I got to talk to my granddaughter. She knows all this stuff. Because, you know, if the cholesterol medicine doesn't start working until 10 years from now, what good is it doing me to take it now and suffer for the future? Which you never know. Right now I'm feeling like I do need something. And maybe I should have been taking that. But, you know, the cholesterol one, where it takes your fat. I mean, it's stripping the fat out of your brain, people. Along with the fat out of your arteries, I guess. I must say, I do not know what I'm talking about. Okay, make sure you got that. I'm just giving an opinion. And then also saying that it's like the study of, you know, science. Science is the study of. A doctor has a practice because he's practicing on you. He's got the knowledge. He's got a lot more smarts than we do. But still, when it boils right down to it, there's a practice. Why do they call that a practice? That's kind of interesting, isn't it? Okay. I got to put this in my other hand, and I really do. I've got to get out my suitcase and get out my Christmas presents. I got a keyboard that I haven't set up yet. I be texting with one finger, okay? So it would be good to have my keyboard if I was doing it on that. It's a keyboard, hopefully, that fits my iPad. It's wireless. That part would be great. I mean, this is wireless too, but you got to charge it. The one that I have, I think I left it on the charger too long or something. I did something. But I think I'm probably wearing out my iPad because I use it all the time. You wouldn't think you would use it, right? But it's my TV, too. So I do my videos on there, and I post on there, and I do all the different things on there, and then I watch TV I've got it on all night long because it's watching TV. And you know, I shouldn't be doing that. And every once in a while, I'll get this little memory. Okay, so I was doing a lot of research for cancer, and it wasn't for me. It was because of somebody else, and I just was doing a lot of research. And so what was the point? Okay, this guy. I don't even know if it was a guy, okay? It's been that long. I don't keep track of all those things. But there's been a woman. They were saying, in fighting cancer, start with your home. Look all around your home for toxins. Okay? They're talking about all different kinds, like radiation. The iPad, the iPhone put out radiation. And then if you're like got it right up in your face, you know, and you're always with it, and there's just all these things going along. They're talking about some kind of a weird neck problem because they're always looking down at their phone. I can see this double chin happens real good when I look down like that. But they're talking about also dense wrinkles across in two places because of how you're always got your neck crunched. I left the other stuff. I was talking about cancer. So take out things that are not good. And then as you start seeing these videos, there's all kinds of things. Like, okay, they're saying you should get 100% cotton. sheets, clothes, underwear, in your pillowcase, your pillow, all that stuff should not have, I don't know what the word would be, but unnatural, we'll just say that. And then polyurethane, unsaturated. I mean, we cook in that stuff. And then there's the poly for the propane. It's all from a gas. Am I making any sense? I think I'm right. Like, I made those cozies. I made these bowl cozies, and I just love them. And I did do mostly cotton, but I didn't really realize people might stick these things in the microwave oven. And if you do, you're supposed to have 100% cotton, or it could catch on fire because of the plastic. Because of the plastic's made from a gas, I think. That's what I think, okay? It's the word poly, the root word poly that you want to look at. They're now saying in all these plastic bags that we store our food in, the plastic is leaching into our food, which is leaching into us. I went and looked at the cupboard, and everything in there almost was in plastic. Plastic containers, solid type containers, and then also baggies. And I mean, we've got plastic going on. And then I don't know what BPA stands for, but they used to say with no BPA, I know that they started using vegetable oil, I think, to make plastics, and maybe that's better, I don't know. My eyes are red. I mean, my eyelids are red, but I was rubbing them and cleaning them out. They're dry. I've got to get my bad word together. You just get lazy, I think. You don't realize. And really, I've been pouring that coffee in me because coffee's supposed to be good for fighting cancer. But you're not supposed to put sugar in it. Because cancer wants the sugar. And then what else? My head hurts a little bit there. I don't know. I'm just ranting on. I haven't even really introduced myself or said what the date is, right? The date is the 26th of January. And the month will be over in a few days. Amazingly enough, time just keeps going by. Okay, so what color are my eyes today? What do you see? Because I got my glasses off, so I can't really tell. Maybe they're black. Because if they're hazel, they go with your clothes, and I've got a black shirt on. Not because I'm a black individual, meaning black magic. Not the color of my skin. See, words can mean so many things, and you guys can just get so caught up in a word without hearing the rest of the sentence, without realizing they don't even know how to make their sentences correct. You kind of have to decipher through all this stuff. And people, myself included, jump to conclusions that maybe are not correct. I mean, I've had it happen to me, so I know. And I know that I did it with my mom. You think you know what they're saying before they even say it. And before they've even hardly started their sentence, you've already got a reply. and it might be of a sensitive nature, which then makes your amplification, meaning you amplify. What does that do to the other person? The other person is being yelled at. And also from somewhere out in left field where they didn't even mean to say anything about that. They were talking about something else, but they didn't get it out of their damn mouth before you chopped them up. Does any of that sound familiar, people? We're all doing it. I know we are. You know, we can't be sweet all the time. And a lot does depend on your self-esteem, how secure you are. You don't have to be belligerent to people. But you know, what, my mother would probably give me good advice and had to give me lectures and stuff, and I didn't want to hear it. And I don't know, maybe I probably assumed correct because I'd already heard it before, if you know what I mean. There are certain people in certain situations, like my mom and dad, there was family there, and I was going through a divorce and moved back in with mom and dad with a little baby. Wow. And that was after I'd been gone 6 years, at least 6 years, because, you know, I got married and they moved away. They moved the very next day after my wedding. I mean, it all had to be planned together. You know, it was like a dance. Everything, timing is everything, okay? But they were packed up, ready to go and leave the state the very next day. Also with having my wedding. I mean, that was a big to-do. And getting the food together and the clothes together and the bridesmaids. All this different stuff, I mean, was pulled together. So, kudos to Mother. But it really is a sad situation when your family moves away. And there you are with your new family. And guess what? They're not like you are. You find that it's not a cool situation. But you can't go running home. Can't go home to visit or just have an evening away and go visit your own family. Because they have gone from Salt Lake Valley up to Vancouver, Washington. A long ways away. And in the scheme of things, maybe it's not so far away because my place in Colorado, that's right in the middle of the United States, basically. Kind of, sort of, okay? Seems like forever to get there. And if you're driving and you drive 8 hours and you take a night and 8 hours, it'd be 3 days. I'm kidding. You can do it in a good length of time, a good short length of time if you can stay awake and just keep driving. That would be a day and a half. But otherwise, really, you should stop after 8 hours and get a hotel. So it takes time to go across country. But I never thought, really, that wasn't so far away. Salt Lake to, I think Salt Lake to Kennewick was 8 hours. So add another 3 to 4 hours to that to get to Vancouver. But still, they just seemed like they were on another planet, okay? And it wasn't like I could get up and go visit them. But I don't think I ever thought about it either. They came to visit us. Mom and Dad were good about that. They were good about a lot of things. I mean, they drove across country. They went to North Carolina. They took trips. They had family every which way, so they would take a trip across the northern part of the United States, stop at Michigan, see a sister, stop here and there, and there was also all these church things that we could go visit, okay, like the Hill Cumorah, where the Book of Mormon was. There was a pageant there. They gave a pageant there every year. I don't know if they still do. I bet they do. It's a big deal because that battle, I know I'm just rambling on, but remember I read to you out of the Book of Mormon. I read the Book of Mormon, which is 9 chapters. And then I read Moroni, which was 10 chapters. So that's 19 chapters that covers the Lamanites annihilating the Nephites. A lot of war. There was good things in there. It wasn't just bloody battle all the time. I mean, there was some sacred things in there too. And things you learn about God. Because these people who are keeping these records and abridging them also, because that's what Mormon did. He was an historian. He abridged records. He pulled important things from other records and put them in a smaller book so that we could have them, okay? Because you can't, I mean, I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say. They said about Jesus, you know, there wouldn't be enough books to hold everything that should be written or could be written. So, we got to take into context all this stuff. And I got to remember, I got a smoothie over here, and I'll be dying of headache, and part of that can be nutrition. You know, not eating, not giving your body what it needs. So I'm going to have a spoonful. Good stuff, Maynard. So it's my normal smoothie. So far, I did add spinach. I don't know if you guys know that. And I don't know if I finished telling you about that. And I know I've drifted away. But my daughter pointed out they got frozen spinach. So I've been trying to get the fresh spinach. And then, you know, it could go bad before you use it. So if it's in the freezer, it's not going to go bad. Unless the freezer goes out or something. So anyway, now I've been putting frozen spinach in there. So spinach, blueberries, strawberries, flaxseed, and it's ground up flaxseed, okay? And you keep it in the freezer. And then I did my scoop. Today I just used a spoon and got like part of a spoon of my superfoods and put in there. And then I got 3/4 of a scoop of my Slim Fast put in there. And so it turned out that, because this is a little cup. And if I'd had my walnuts, I'd be putting them in there too. So I think I'm going to be getting my car shipped to me. My sister and her husband spent time loading my car with all my stuff. So they got it all in there, it looks like. Unless there's something left behind. I hope not. You see, they're talking about my veins being clogged, okay? That's what cholesterol is, I guess. And, I mean, there's good cholesterol and bad cholesterol, and I don't understand it all. And when they have a cholesterol number, I don't think they always realize that some of that's good, not just bad. And I don't know how to explain that. So, I do like to talk. So I like that opens that up. There's things in there that need to come out. I was talking about the scriptures somewhere. What was I talking about to you guys? So I've been reading the scriptures lately, and so it's like, okay, is it something I just read? Is it something I just said? I really don't know sometimes. Just going to have to go with the flow. Go with the flow and mellow out. That's what I've got to do. That's what they said. I looked it up. What is the first thing you do that you can do naturally to get your blood pressure down? Remove yourself from stress. You can't always do that. I mean, your whole life can be stress. It has been. But the second thing, I don't know if it was the second thing, but another thing you can do is deep breathing. You breathe in deep. How do you do it? Through your nose. Okay, so in through your nose and out through your mouth, I guess. But you breathe in deep, and then you hold it a couple seconds, and then you blow it out. And then you do it again. And I do know that worked for something that happened to me a long time ago. I think I was having a panic attack. It wasn't a panic attack. I was telling somebody something that had happened, and it was a miracle that had happened. And it had just happened like the day before or something. And I was at church with a bunch of women. We were having a meeting. And then I told them all about it. And the next thing you know, I don't know what was going on, but I had like this big old pain in my chest. And I was like feeling like I was having a heart attack. And I was in the bathroom. I went to the bathroom and stayed there. I didn't let anybody know what's going on. How stupid. That's the way I am. So anyway, this woman came in that was aware of techniques and things. Hold on a second. And that's what it was. She was telling me to do the deep breathing thing. And I did. And it helped. Everything went away. Okay? That was scary. That was a very scary thing. And yes, it was a miracle in my book. And I don't know if I could draw up all the details. But it was one of many things that's happened to me that are just amazing, really. Even in its simplest little form, it's amazing. See, I've gone way off my path, but I'm going to follow this other path, okay? Let me just tell you this one. I was coming home from somewhere. I was on an airplane. But my car was there, so I must have parked my car for the time that I was gone. You know what? I wonder if I'm even telling the story true. Does Amarillo have an airport? Amarillo's 2 hours away. And I was at something where I got to my car, and then when I left, and it was 2 hours to get home, I left, and there was this noise or something, but I kept going. I didn't know what it was. Well, I had 2 hours to go. So let's just say after a little bit, however long it would last, my battery started to go dead because my alternator belt had fell off. Okay. Broke or fell off. I don't know, but it left the car. And so this is in the middle of the night, people. I'm driving home in the middle of the night, and I had to be to work. I'm pretty sure I had to be to work the next day. I worked for Dad, but I was still supposed to be to work the next day, so I was trying my best to get there. And so anyway, my lights, I'm not sure, the lights inside the car went out, and I'm not sure about the outside of the car, but you're talking about windy roads in Texas, no white lines on the side of the road, and it's dark, so you can't see. Anyway, I'm sure I'd be praying. I'm not sure, but I mean, you know, I didn't know what was happening. I just kept driving. I drove as far as I could drive. And I found about halfway home, so an hour in, I pulled in backwards to this Minute Mart that was open all night, okay? In other words, you're going to pull into a Minute Mart. Normally you just pull in. But what I did was made the Y turn and backed in because I had a feeling that I might need a jump, okay? And so you want to make it easy for a jump. Anyway, I didn't know what was wrong, and I was doing a whole bunch of praying and stuff. I'm sure I was. And I wanted to just kind of hang out, but that guy was wanting me to go get in a hotel. You know, because he didn't want me to sit there, I guess. But I said, just let me be for a little bit. And I know I was praying. That would be my natural thing. I was praying for a mechanic. So just think, I'm in a little dinky town. This Minute Mart's about the only thing on this road. You know, there were some different stores and stuff, but nothing to help me out. And in the middle of the night especially, you know, so 1 or 2 or 3. probably 1 or 2 in the morning is when I got there. So I sat out in my car, and it seems like it was about 3 o'clock. Here comes this truck, pulls in. What he was doing was taking a break because he was working the night shift, and he just came up there to get some food or stuff, you know. Anyway, I said, by chance, would you be a mechanic? And by chance he was. And he looked under my hood, I guess, because I don't think I had looked under there to see what was wrong. My alternator belt was gone. So no wonder everything was dead. You know, I was lucky to get there. And these roads were out in the middle of nowhere, okay? They're little dinky towns separated by a lot of space. So it was Amarillo to Pampa. And I hadn't made it to Pampa. And then I would be going to Perryton after that, you know, which is another hour away. But anyway, he looked under my hood, and then he said, I'll be back in a minute. He went to where he worked, and he got one of a whole bunch of different kind of belts until he brought them all. And he put the right one on there and sent me on my way. Did not charge me. You tell me that's not a miracle. And I've already told some other miracles kind of similar to that on long trips, you know, like going from Texas up to Vancouver, Washington. Because I did that 3 times. I know of at least 2 times. I'm not sure how many times I continued to do, because that's a big deal. It's a long trip, and I would take my vacation and go back, because we had left Vancouver, left our friends and family and stuff, and went to Texas with Dad and Mom. And it was still another mutual thing where they were helping me and I was helping them. But the point is, so there's that miracle thing, okay? Sent me on my way. I got home. I was able to go to work, probably with no sleep. But the next day, I'm at a church meeting with these women, and I'm telling them all about it and stuff. And then all of a sudden, maybe you would call it hyperventilating. I don't know what the heck I was doing, but I was having like a heart attack. So it wasn't a panic attack, but it was such a surge of energy that maybe it overpowered everything. And I do need to go walk. And it's been cold. I guess when this cold is gone, it won't feel as cold. And I haven't felt cold because I've been in my room. I haven't been outside in it. It's just the other day when they left, she said it was 2 degrees. I'm going, that's cold. When I lived at my property, the very first year, 20. Was it 20? No. Okay, I don't want to lie, so I'll just say 16. It was either 16 or 20 below. Inside the house where I was living. My bones ached so bad. That was amazing. I should have been covered up in lots of quilts and stuff. I wonder why I wasn't. Anyway, let's get back down to the present. My chest has been bothering me. And I need to find a way to get my blood pressure down naturally. And I started taking those pills, but that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that taking the pill is supposed to be for the future and not for now. And how's it going to get my blood pressure down? So, I remember my grandma Smith told me she was walking on what are those things called? Treadmill. She was walking on a treadmill for her blood pressure. Because she said that, let me just open up the door, see if I can get some cool air in here. I love this shirt. It's a sweatshirt, but it makes me sweat. So I don't like wearing it. So I'll let some cool air in and see if that offsets it some. I wonder if I can put this down over here and still have you see me. I'll just be in the distance. But then will you hear me? There. Ah, I need to open up a window or something. Pull up my sleeves. I would take off my shirt, but I can't do that. Okay. Hopefully I'll feel better in a second. Now, I gotta have my stuff. That's why I had the door shut. I didn't want any excess noise. Okay. So, let me shut this door again. Partially. I don't know. We can be really thankful that we live in this day and time, but then we've got our own crosses to bear, just like all the others that suffer not as bad. But then again, not everybody is experiencing everything that's going on, like our children who are off to war. You know, I don't know what they're all going through. Some are going through things that they think are ridiculous, but that's because they are preparing for the day that they have to have that skill and that fortitude to be able to do what they got to do. Did that make any sense? You know, like they got things they got to do. Like if they were in a time of war, they'd have to do things fast and fluid, like they know what they're doing. Then you got to practice it. That's what's going on. Kevin was talking about some of that. Just, those were my words, not his. That's what it's all about, practice. So then, in order to be like our mother and father in heaven, and be a God, to become one, they are co-creators. I don't know if that's making any sense, but you need your partner. And you're going to propagate. And I'm not sure how that's going to work. How do you make spirit babies? And what actually is a spirit? Because I always thought of them as like smoke. But then, in that book of Ether that I read to you guys, the brother of Jared saw Jesus in his spirit form. He looked exactly like he looked when he grew up on earth, because the brother of Jared saw that too. His faith was so strong. Of course, you know, yeah, once you see him, then you don't really need faith because you've seen him. But he had great faith. And his faith allowed him to see Jesus' finger. Jesus was lighting some stones for him. And I read about that in Ether, okay? I keep changing places and times. But he said Jesus looked the same as a spirit versus in mortality. human form, physical form. I don't know if we all get to have that. Some of us might not want that, to look how we look in the pre-existence and forever, maybe, because I kind of think I'm me, and that includes how I look. But maybe I'm wrong. I mean, it does make sense, doesn't it? Okay, my brother just sent me a message. I left my car. I left my car at my sister's. And so Nancy and Philip just loaded all my stuff up in the car. These guys said they would take it for me as long as I had the stuff underneath the window so that it can't be seen through the windows. And because I was supposed to be able to get 150 pounds. So I told them the situation, So hopefully they'll still do what they said. They said they would let me just, I can load the trunk up and I can load up to the windows and keep everything away from the driver's seat. So that's what they did. They were able to get most of it in the trunk. And then they got a couple things, a tote and she gave me a bookcase that was Mother's. It's just a little one. And I'm glad. It's solid wood. Mother had nice wood stuff. I like wood, not plastic. But anyway, it's just a small, I don't even think it's 48 inches. I think it's just 24. It might be 24 inches wide. I don't know. She said she was using it as a end table or something in her daughter's room. So, I do gotta do better about eating. That's my problem. A lot of different things. No more coffee with creamer. No more coffee, I guess, because I can't stand it black. I don't think I could make myself drink it. Maybe there's a coffee that tastes good that's not sweet. But, it was an experiment gone bad, because I don't think that's good for me. I could tell that it was just too sweet. But I wasn't taking my blood sugar either. And there's some things that's just going to have sugar in it. That's just the way it is. But I just have to kind of like make a menu. That would be the smart thing to do, right? Figure out things that are good for you and things that are not going to give you a sugar load. Because fruit is good for you, but it does turn to sugar. They say it's better to eat it than to blend it up, because this is doing all the chewing for you. It has to do with eating things with other things so that they don't go straight to your veins and straight to sugar. It's like I said it before, it's kind of like a little dance. You need a little protein. Okay, so let's say you got a plate. This is what they showed at that class. They had, you just take the plate and cut it in half and then a half again, okay? Except for this whole side, so it's two halves, you cover with vegetables. When you're not in dire straits, you can have whatever vegetables, but like with me, it would be best if I had green. vegetables. All those lovely green things. Broccoli and asparagus and Brussels sprouts, green beans, and stuff. But all better if it's not processed. And I don't know. I figure frozen is probably good, but that's still a process, isn't it? And you can't always have seasonal fruit. I mean, they got it to where you can't hardly get fruit itself at the grocery store, and then you got to worry about pesticides and fertilizers and all kinds of stuff. So I know there's places that will not give the loans to the farmers to do the work unless they're going to have pesticides and probably also fertilizer, because they want a good crop. They want a good return on their money. Thinking about us. And then there's all these other trial things, genetically modified, so that they are resistant to pest. Anyway, that's a whole other story. Don't want to get into it. Don't even know what I was going to say about it all. It's a Sunday, though. I should do something good. And I do need to be mellow, and I need to do you can't see me, do the Om thing, put your fingers together and go, Om. I need to calm down. And I wouldn't even know that I need to do that itself, where I can kind of feel it. Sometimes it's been tight in my chest and in my veins. They keep poking me, too. They keep sticking things in my veins. Slim Fast, I'm not sure how good it is for me, but I can tell you it helps me not get hungry. And in some ways that's very good, because my headaches come along when I get hungry. Headaches, nausea, all kinds of stuff. So I need to eat. So this is a real little cup, and in some ways this is really good. The frozen spinach is good in there, but you couldn't put frozen carrots in there. And you know what? My daughter's got a bunch of carrots. I ought to go cook them. Carrots are good for fighting cancer. And I like them. I mean, they're not green, they're orange. But they are good for you. I'm going to have to shut that door. I bet Tyler's home. Somebody's home, but the dog is barking at. It is good. So that's one way to get your spinach. Buy it frozen and put it in your smoothie. So the only sugar that's in my smoothie would be out of those two things, those two powders that I put in there. Because I put a superfood, 50 superfoods, and probiotics. Really good. So, I'm going to say it again. I know I already said it. That's one way to get spinach in you. I don't know that I want to read anything. I need to think about that. I do like stimulating my brain. I like talking, as you guys can tell. Just drift away. See where your brain takes you. So don't let it take you in a bad place, people. We want good stuff. Oh, man. So, if you find yourself alone and you don't know what to do with yourself, and you have your gadgets, put that app on there. Excuse me. Gospel Library. It showed up because I did a search for it yesterday. There's all kinds of things on there. I mean, that's what I thought about earlier, was going back to Jesus the Christ, but it's so heavy. I'm not kidding, it's kind of heavy, and the words they use are not words we're used to, even though they would be English words. But see, the last thing I only did 2 chapters. I did first chapter, second chapter. The second chapter I fell asleep twice because I was having a difficult time. And that's what happens, it shuts my brain down. But I came back and I kept going because it was too hard. I'll have to figure out how to edit those. There's probably a way. So, what? Jesus the Christ. Okay. So that is on that app. And then the thing is, I read chapter 2, and it was difficult. And then the next chapter is notes to chapter 2. I didn't read that yet. I wonder, I have to probably look it up. How did I title it so that I can title it the same? So for that, it's the notes. All right, those of you who have the app, I'm going to put it on I'll turn this around so you can see it. I know, all over the place I am. Okay, so can you see it? Let's see. Okay, anyway, I'm going to touch that. Not coming? There you are. Okay, so it's coming back to where I read before. First Nephi 15, and there's 16. And the next one I'm supposed to do is 17. Maybe that's what I should read. That is. It's just not that I want to do that. So I was talking about Jesus the Christ. That's one of the books that they'll show you. And then you, I guess I can find that again. Okay, I should show you guys. Book of Mormon, Nephi. There's a whole bunch. Well, not a whole bunch. There's only 15. Okay. So these are the scriptures. But I'm going to go over here. Jesus the Christ. Let's see. I wonder if the book is there. The Living Christ. I haven't read that, I don't think. Okay, let's go back because that's not what I wanted. Okay, so books right here. Down here, there's a thing called books. Okay. There's church history. Right here. Jesus the Christ by James E. Talmage. Okay, so I read chapter 1 and I read chapter 2. Chapter 2, pre-existence and foreordination of the Christ. 3, the need of a Redeemer. 4, the anti-mortal Godship of Christ. Anti-mortal? Quit bending over. Number 5 is earthly advent of the Christ predicted. Number 6 is the meridian of time. Number 7, Gabriel's announcement of John and of Jesus. 8 is the babe of Bethlehem. 9 is the boy of Nazareth. 10, in the wilderness of Judea. 11, from Judea to Galilee. 12, early incidents of our Lord's public ministry. That'll be interesting. Chapter 13, honored by strangers, rejected by his own. Continuation of our Lord's ministry in Galilee. 15 is Lord of the Sabbath. 16 is the chosen 12. 17, the Sermon on the Mount. 18, as one having authority. 19, he spake many things unto them in parables. 20, peace, be still. I just got chills. Okay, so then let's see. That's 20, chapter 20. It's peace, be still. Chapter 21, the apostolic, I can't say that word. It was talking about the apostles, their mission, and events related thereto. Chapter 22, a period of darkening opposition. Chapter 23, the transfiguration. Chapter 24, from sunshine to shadow. Chapter 25, Jesus again in Jerusalem. Chapter 26, our Lord's ministry in Perea and Judea. Perea. It's Perea. And Judea. Okay. 27. Continuation of the Perean and Judean ministry. Chapter 28. The last winter. How weird. Chapter 29. On to Jerusalem. 30. Jesus returns to the temple daily. 31. The close of our Lord's public ministry. Chapter 32, further instruction to the apostles. Chapter 33, the Last Supper and the betrayal. Chapter 34, the trial and condemnation. Chapter 35 is death and burial. 36 is in the realm of disembodied spirits. That would be interesting to read. Chapter 37, the resurrection and the ascension. Chapter 38, the apostolic ministry. I'm not saying it right. Apostolic. Chapter 39, Ministry of the Resurrected Christ on the Western Hemisphere. That's here. Okay, chapter 40, the long night of apostasy. Chapter 41, Personal Manifestations of God, the Eternal Father, and of His Son, Jesus Christ, in modern times. Chapter 42, Jesus the Christ to return. And then it's an index. Okay? But up here on chapter 3, it doesn't say that. Okay. So, chapter 2, pre-existence foreordination of the Christ. The next thing after that, and it must have just been in the same spot, but I chose not to do it, because there's a thing called notes. So maybe that would make sense. Notes would come at the end. I just thought it was chapter 3. Okay, notes to chapter 2. So, maybe we'll stray a little bit and we'll go there. We'll see if I can stay awake. I bet I can stay awake. And it would be interesting to go back and try to read chapter 2. You guys ought to, okay? Any of you that feel like you can handle heavy stuff, not heavy by weight, but by what it's talking about. It was a lot to cover. I don't know what anti-mortal state is unless they're talking about the pre-existence. These are the notes. I don't know how well I did that. See, here I am battling a headache. I really shouldn't do it. But, yeah, my headache's a little bit more, I didn't take my BC this morning. I took a Tylenol. And I only took one, but it was a 650 milligram one. They're extra strength. They're 8 hours. And they give them to people after they've had surgery to help their other medication work. They would do the intervals where you take one and then halfway through you take another one. And then, in other words, you're supposed to take one every 8 hours, right? So you take one, and then 4 hours later you take a different one. And so then you can take something every 4 hours, but it's not the same. And the Tylenol, I will say, did work. Well, so I'm wondering, if I just start this, I should just start it on its own. I'm already past an hour anyway. Okay. I just tell you, you guys get the app and go find it where I showed it to you. Okay? So you click on the books, then you click on Jesus the Christ by James E. Talmage, and try reading that. I don't know what would happen if I start trying to read notes to chapter 2. Because, like I said, it was hard for me to read. And now there's word Abraham. Okay, we've been reading about Abraham. I was thinking about trying to find Abraham in the Bible and see if I could read there. But it's like, I think sometimes these people come up in other people's things. Maybe they're being taught about to somebody else, you know. Anyway, let's see. I'm just going to read this one to begin with. This one first paragraph in notes to chapter 2. And I can tell it's already given me a headache, and I haven't even started yet. Because he uses foreign words. This was written back in 1915. Okay, probably ought to turn on the light. I'm not thinking my eyes are just being a little bit on the blurry side. I'm going to just unplug that and bring it up here where I can see it better. Okay. Oh, happy day. Let me see how long this notes thing is. It's not that long, but I still should put it in its own thing. Okay, that's what I'm going to do, people. I will go ahead and shut down, and then I will read Notes to Chapter 2 for Jesus the Christ by James E. Talmage. I know I tell you often, and I already told you in this video, but do it anyway. Go to the App Store and put Gospel Library on your phone or your tablet, whatever you use the most, or all of them. When you open it up, go to the place that says Books, and then go to Jesus the Christ by James E. Talmage. And then you can have it be read to you, or you could read it. And that's what I should do. I should have it read to me. Wonder what would happen if I just had it read it to you. People do stuff like that, right? They put movies on. I know that the church will not mind sharing this stuff at all. It's just do not mess with it. You know what I mean? Sometimes people take stuff and then they rearrange words and do things that are weird. Okay. I said I'm going to do that, so I'm going to do that. It's been nice sharing with you this morning, and I'm going to continue, and maybe it'll do me some good. Now, I need to be going up and down the stairs, but that's not so easy. But I do. Walking, she did say walking would help. Oh. I haven't taken the BC, so maybe I should go do that. I'll just take a little break, go take a BC, and come back up and read. They're watching football. Jesse's having a date with her oldest daughter and her youngest daughter. And this football that they're doing, they know I'm not really a football fan. They assumed that I wouldn't want to go. And they're probably right. I mean, there are other things I could do, but I do want to spend time with them. So, I mean, sometimes if that's the only way, that's the only way, right? But I do need to get back to my videos and exercise and solitude. There is something to be said for that. And I need to practice the teeth. I need to make a list. See, I'm telling you guys what I need to do, but I need to make a list of all these different things. Like I need to get my eyes tested. I need to get my ears tested. I need to get my teeth working in my mouth. I've already paid for them damn things. You know, they give you a credit, right? With your insurance gives you a credit. This is how much you can have, but you have to pay for the rest. Well, I paid quite a bit for the rest. And it just would be nice. It'd be nice if I could have a nice looking face and teeth to eat. Right now, I'm comfortable. And sometimes even when I see myself, I'm okay. And sometimes I'm not. But it continues, you know, as we age, it's going to probably get worse. So I need to do something about it. So you guys, Sunday the 26th of January. I hope you have a good one. Bye.